I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies note reading books 1 and 2 from my method book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in note reading books 1 and 2, explaining and demonstrating concepts and playing each of the songs and exercises contained therein, so you can hear how they sound and play them right along with me. You are of course welcome to view these videos with or without the book, but with the book you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process learn all the notes in first position and master the skill of reading written music notation. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Hi there, welcome back. Here we are in lesson 11. So delighted to have you joining me. In this lesson, we're going to build on what we've learned in past lessons. So far we know all the natural notes in first position, and we know where all the chromatic notes are as of lesson 10. So this is awesome. We know where all the notes are in first position. So on that low 6th string, we have E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat. Then on the next string we have A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat. On the D string we have D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, F sharp or G flat. We have G, G sharp or A flat, A, and then A sharp or B flat. On the B string we have B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, and then on that high string we have E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, and as of the last lesson we learned about the A that sits at the 5th fret. So we know all the notes, and we've learned about 8th note rhythms, dotted quarter notes, 8th note rests on top of our quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, dotted half, all those good things. And in lesson 8, we learned about the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and its relative minor, the A minor scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So in this lesson, we're going to learn about the keys of G major and E minor, and we're going to play several songs in those keys and some scales as well. So we'll play that G major scale and that E minor scale. So we're just going to jump in here. First, we're going to talk about what a key is. So a key is a collection of pitches that create a certain tonality for a song, and the melody is derived from that collection of pitches and that tonality, and the chords that would accompany that melody are also derived from that scale or that tonality, which is defined by a scale. So the key of C major has the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. The key of A minor has the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. So, something to note, we have 7 natural pitches, and then we have 5 chromatic pitches that fit in between. Our natural notes are named for those letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and the chromatic pitches are named how they relate to the natural pitches. So A sharp or B flat, C sharp or D flat, that sort of thing. So when we have a scale, it's going to have 7 notes, and it's going to have a version of each one of those pitches. So it's either going to have an A, or it would have an A sharp or an A flat. It's going to have a B, or it would have a B flat or a B sharp. That would be really unusual, but it could happen in theory. We're going to have a C, which would then, or a C sharp or a C flat. Now the C flat again is unusual. It's really unusual for us to see a C flat because it's the same as a B natural. It's unusual to see a B sharp because it's the same as the C pitch. But there are some rare occasions where we might see it. For example, in a key where maybe we have 7 sharps. That's one way of describing a key. Our ear, just like the fact that C sharp and D flat sound the same to our ear but look different on the page. We could write a song in a key with 7 sharps, which is a little silly because we could also read with 5 flats. So it's easier to read with 5 flats, but there are times where in some music, especially classical music and jazz, where you might have brief moments where we go through these other keys because it makes sense. There's also times where we might see an accidental that makes sense for some reason, to see like B sharp or something, although it's unusual. So okay, but we would have that. We have C sharp or C flat, highly unusual on the C flat, but then we'd have a D or a D sharp or a D flat. So we're going to have a version of D, then we're going to have a version of E, E flat, or the rare E sharp if we're not having an E natural. E sharp is the same as F. Then with F, we could have F or F sharp. We might see F flat, but again, it's unusual because it's the same pitch as E. And then we have G. We could have a G sharp or a G flat. So we're going to have a version of all those. So the scale, a major scale, is defined by having a collection of whole steps and half steps. We learned a little bit about this in the last lesson. So a half step on the guitar is played 1 fret to the next. A whole step skips over a fret. So the chromatic scale that we played in the last lesson was a series of half steps, all half steps. The major scale has a collection of whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. So C, D, whole step, D to E, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And that creates a major scale. The minor scale, the natural minor scale that we're playing, is a little different. It goes whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. Now you might say, those pitches are the same. They are the same. It's kind of like they're related because they have the same DNA, so to speak. They have similar DNA, and they're related. Physically or musically, they're related. But putting them in that order with the whole steps and half steps like that changes the priority on pitches in a way that it gives the A minor scale a certain characteristic that is different from the C major characteristic. And the chords that we're going to play with that A minor are going to be slightly different, though they're made up of the same notes and same as the C major, the key of C major. Now we're not really going to talk about chords in this lesson or in this book, but if you want to know how chords relate to the keys and how all that works, then you want to check out that Chords and Harmony books. Those are where that's explained. And here we're talking about the melodies. So our melodies come out of the scale of that key, and those 7 pitches create the tonality, but it has to match that scale because we need that priority made by where those half steps versus whole steps are located. So that gives us a certain sound. So with that, we have the option of having 12 keys, 12 different keys that our ear can hear. There are what we call enharmonic keys, the same way we have enharmonic pitches. So a D sharp or an E flat sounds the same to our ear, but is written differently on the page. As I mentioned, we could have a key with 7 sharps, C sharp, every pitch being sharp. That's kind of ridiculous, though in theory it exists, because we could read with 5 flats instead, and it's going to sound the exact same to our ear. If I wasn't saying the names of the pitches and I just played it, it would sound the exact same to our ear. I just played C sharp major or D flat major. They sound the exact same, but on page they look differently. So we have 12 keys that our ear can hear, and they're going to be defined with something called a key signature. So each key has a unique set of pitches. It has a unique set of natural notes intermixed with sharps or intermixed with flats. And we have a key signature written on the staff to help us identify which key we're playing. So in the key of G major, we only have 1 sharp, and it's an F sharp. So that means all the other notes are going to be played natural, and only F is going to be always played as F sharp. So we'd have, and you can see it there at the bottom of page 67, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp instead of F, G, and that creates our G major key. And so we're going to see on here the sharp sign written on the F line, and this means that we play F always as F sharp, and that, hey, by the way, we're in the key of G major or E minor. We'll know which one it is based on what it sounds like, whether it sounds like the melody is coming out of the G major scale or whether it's coming out of the E minor scale. We can also identify by the chords. Do the chords sound like they're coming from the G major scale or the E minor scale? Now, this F sign sits up on that top line. Our key signatures tend to be written at the highest part of the staff on the staff. So the F isn't written down here, but all of the Fs that would be played in this range or below the staff or wherever, they're all going to be played as sharp. And that won't be indicated throughout the music. When it's written in the key signature, we just know automatically every time we see an F note, it's played as F sharp. So the sharp sign will not sit next to those Fs as we're reading the music, whether we're playing in E minor or G major. So that's a little bit there with the key signature, and we're going to see lots of key signatures as we continue through the book, because we're going to continue all the way to lesson 25 playing through these different keys, all 12 keys here in first position. So let's flip on over to page 68. In this lesson we'll be on pages 67 through 73. Let's flip on over to page 68 and we'll start playing some scales. Okay, so here we are on page 68. We're going to start with the G major scale. Before we jump into that, let's take a look at where the F sharp notes are located. So we have 3 of them. So on the low 6th string, our F note sits at the 1st fret, so F sharp is 1 fret higher at the 2nd fret. So everywhere where we would play F, where we see the F written on the low line below the staff, the 3rd line below the staff, the 3rd ledger line below the staff, we're going to play F sharp instead of F. The next one is located 4th fret of the 4th string. So we have an F natural that sits in that space of the staff, the lowest space of the staff, I should say. 3rd fret is where we play that. So F sharp, which is what we're going to be playing, is going to be at the 4th fret. So we're going to grab that. We want to be sure to grab it with our pinky. We want to force that pinky to work. Equal opportunity employers with our fingers. That helps us get much better, much faster. And if you continue on after books 1 and 2 that we're doing here and go into book 3, it's going to make your life way easier as you're learning to read all over the neck. So develop that pinky now. F sharp is a great one that we get to play a lot of times that needs that pinky. On the high string, matches the low 6th string, our F sharp sits at the 2nd fret as well. So we have an F natural that sits on that top line of the staff, sits at the 1st fret, so F sharp 1 fret higher at that 2nd fret. So F sharp's there. Alright, so there on page 68 we have written out the G major scale. We're going to do the same thing with the G major scale that we did with the C major scale. We're going to practice it by first playing 4 plucks per note, then we're going to do 2 plucks per note, and then we're going to do 1 pluck per note, working on our alternate picking. You also see on that page in the upper right hand corner a diagram of where all the notes in this key, or the key of G major, so all notes with the G major scale are located. When we have a G major scale, we start on the G pitch. When we had the C major scale, we started on the C pitch. With the A minor scale, we started on an A pitch. When we get to E minor, we're going to start with an E pitch. I hope you're seeing a pattern here. That starting pitch is known as the root, or step 1 of the scale, and it's also the note that the key is named for. So that starting pitch is our root, it's the note that the key is named for, and it's also step 1 of the scale. What we're going to do, just like we did when we played C major and A minor, is we're going to start on the lowest root of the scale. We're going to play to the highest note in the position, so we're playing first position, so we're going to play all the way up to the G note. And then we're going to descend to the lowest note that's on the guitar that we can play in that key, which is an open E, and then we'll come back and finish on the G. It's good to memorize these. Memorizing this scale can help us really learn where these notes are, and that diagram may help. You can also just read right along with the music and say these notes out loud. That'll help us out. Here we go with number 1. We're going to do 4 plucks per note. So 1 and 2 and ready and go. And G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, G, and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. I don't usually hold those out, and you don't need to, but I feel a need to since here we are on these videos. Let's do number 2. Now, again, be sure to be using the notes in the 1st fret with your index finger, play the notes in the 2nd fret with your middle finger, play the notes in the 3rd fret with your ring finger, play the notes in the 4th fret, the one occasion you have it, with your pinky. Start forcing that pinky to work. Here we go. Number 2. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, G, 2, 3, 4. Okay, number 3, 1 pluck per note. So this may get a little trickier because we got to continue that alternating happening in our right hand. If you trip up and you just can't think about where the notes are and the right hand at the same time, you may want to do all down plucks until you've got the left hand sort of happening and you know where those notes are. Then worry about doing the alternate plucking in the right hand. So focusing on one thing at a time by simplifying what you're doing with the other thing. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, G, 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, let's go over to page 69. We're going to do the same thing, only we're going to do the E minor scale, so our relative E minor scale. So it's going to sound minor. The reason it sounds minor is because instead of going whole half, we're going whole half. So we've changed the third of the scale, the third step of the scale, we've lowered it by a half step. And when we do that, it creates what we call a minor third. And that minor third is what makes it sound minor versus major. So here would be E major, but it's E minor. And and that's where we get that minor sound. Same thing on steps 6 and 7, both of those have been lowered by a half step as well, and that's what creates this natural minor scale. Okay, little theory there for you. Let's play number 4. 4 plucks per note. So you got 1 and 2 and ready and go and E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, let's do number 5, which has 2 plucks per note. Something I've mentioned before, but I'm going to re-mention here, is that when finding the major versus minor relative scales, from the major scale, the relative minor is pitch that starts on step 6. So the 6th step of the scale is the relative minor. If you start on step 6, you're starting on the relative minor scale. So for G, G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is step 6. And that's the pitch, the root of our relative minor. Vice versa, in the minor scale, the relative major is from step 3. So E, F sharp, G, and we get to that relative major. Just a little tidbit there for you too. Let's do number 5. 1 and 2 and ready and go and E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is 1 pluck per note. Same thing I mentioned with number 3. If it's too much to worry about the alternating while worrying about where these pitches are, then just worry about where the pitches are first, do all down plucks. Then once you've got that down, go back to worrying about getting that alternate picking happening. I'm going to, of course, go ahead and just do it with the alternate picking, but I've been doing this for a little while, so I kind of got it down. So here you go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, let's flip on over to page 70. We'll start playing some melodies in these keys. Okay, so here we are on page 70. We're starting with number 7, Rock of My Soul. So this one's going to be in the key of G major. You can see that sharp written right there in the key signature. It's written right in between the treble clef sign and then the time signature, so 4/4. And that's where we'll find our key signatures, in between those two other items. The key signature is written in between the clef sign and the time signature. Always. Okay, and if there's no sharps or flats, we'll know that it's either in the key of C major or A minor. But we have the sharp there. We know it's in the key of G major or E minor. The chord symbol written above that first measure is G. So we think, it's a pretty good bet that it's in G major, and that's especially the case when we see the final chord as a G as well. Just little hints that can help us out, but our ear will also tell us this melody sounds major instead of minor. Okay, let's go ahead and play it. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and ready and go and... So that one had a little bit of syncopation here and there, you might have noticed, like in bars 2, 4, and 6, where the and of beat 2 is tied over to the beat 3. So those eighth notes are tied together. If that rhythm throws you off, you can practice it with counting it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So count the one that we're not playing to help us find the and of it. So count beat 3 to help find the and of beat 3. That can be a helpful tool. If that didn't come naturally to you, there comes a point where you just get used to those syncopated figures and you just know what they feel like and you just play them. Let's do number 8. Shalom Chevrim, peace my friend. So this one comes in on beat 4. So I'm going to give us 1, 2, 3, and then we'll be in on beat 4 with that low B. This one is in E minor. That E minor chord gives us a hint that's written over that first bar, and actually the whole song having that chord. But the melody and the way it sounds will also tell us that it's in minor. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, B, E. Let's do need, which is used in the song I Need Thee Every Hour, an old popular hymn you might be familiar with. This one is in 3/4 time, comes in on beat 3 in the pickup measure. So I'll give us 3, 1, 2, and then we'll be in with that G. Here we go. 3, 1, 2, G, 1, 2, and 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, rest. Okay, on to page 71. Let's do number 10. This is Boogie in G. This is reminiscent of lots of songs, especially in those 50s and 60s, maybe even a little bit in the 40s, where we kind of got this bass thing kind of happening. So we're going to play this one. It's kind of like that. Now it's written, I was just playing it with sort of a swung rhythm, meaning the notes that were on the beat, I was giving them 2/3 of the beat and delaying the entrance of the off beats. So the eighth notes that were on the off beat or in between the beat. We're going to play it as written first, and then we'll go back and swing it a little bit. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and ready and go, and G, B, D, E, G, E, D, B, G. Now C, E, G, A, C, A, G, E, G, B, D, E, G, E, D, B, D, F sharp, A, B, C, E, G, A, G, B, D, E, G, D, E, G, 4 off. Okay, I just want to point out that this is made up of something we call arpeggios. So skipping over scale tones creates what we call an arpeggio. Each one of these is doing that. We've got G skipping over A to B, skipping over C to D, and then we have E, so step 6. So these are kind of major arpeggios with the 6th added in. G, B, D, E, G, G, B, D, E, G, and descending. That's an arpeggio. Root 3, 5, 6, root 6, 5, 3, 1. We have the same sort of thing with the C. Now, chord-wise, the G chord would be written and created from steps 1, 3, and 5. The C chord would be created from steps 4, 6, and 8 from the G major scale, and that's what we're getting here. C, E, G, and then that A, because we're adding the 6th sort of tone to that C major scale, but we're getting C, E, G, A, C. So it's kind of coming out of our C major scale as we know it with root 3, 5, 6, root. So we're doing a C major arpeggio, which overlaps in the key of G as starting on step 4, where we get 4, 6, 1, 2, and then 4, 2, 1. Six, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 6, 4. That would be how it is in the key of G, but we're really doing a C arpeggio there. And then we get to the D, which is off step 5 in the key of G, and we're doing a D arpeggio with that 6th in it. So we got, if we were in D, we would have 1, 3, 5, 6. But since we're in the key of G, we're doing 5, 7, and then we're skipping over 1 to 2. So 5, 7, 2, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3. But in D, that's 1, 3, 5, 6, and that's what this is coming out of. Anyway, little side theory notes for you. And that's what those chords, the D chord, the C chord, and the G chord, they would have that root 3rd 5, that little arpeggio creates the chord when we play it at the same time. Those are the notes of the chord. Okay, so D7 could actually, instead of having step 6, it could have the C, but that's not the way this song is written. It's just what chord is written over top of it. Okay, so we're going to do it again, but we're going to swing the rhythm this time. So what that means is we're going to delay the entrance of that up pick. So it's going to be, we're going to give the down plucks 2/3 of the beat and have the up pluck come in a little later. So it'll be like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's going to sound like... kind of a fun thing to do with this one. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and go, and G. Okay, let's go on to number 11, Volga Boatman. This one's in E minor, so we're back to E minor. This one gives us a good opportunity to practice with the low notes. Everything we're playing is written on a ledger line, so it might be a little challenging that way, but it's good for us. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and G, E, A, E, 2, 3. E, 2, 3. F sharp, G, 2, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, Okay, let's look at number 12, Shenandoah. This one comes in on beat 4, so I'm going to give us 1, 2, 3, and we'll be in on 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. D, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1, 2. G, F sharp, E. 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, rest. F sharp, G, B, D, 2, 3, 4, rest. G, G, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. Okay, let's flip on over to page 72. We'll do number 13. So here we are on page 72, starting with number 13, Danny Boy. This comes in on the low F sharp. So we'll get ready for that. It's got a 3-beat pickup, so I'm going to give us 3, 4, 1, and we'll come on 2, 3, 4, just like so. Here we go. Good practice with the low notes again, and it's going to be good for us. Plus, this is such a great melody. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. F sharp, G, A, B, 2, 3, A, B, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, rest, F sharp, G, rest. D, E, F sharp, G, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3. 4, 1. E, F sharp, G, 2, 3, 4, 1, rest. Okay, love that melody. Let's go on to number 14, Jamaica Farewell. This one's going to be higher in range. It's also going to have some eighth notes and syncopation, so it's got some challenges in its own way. We won't take it too fast, but we're going to have some of those syncopated spots. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and kind of how that rhythm will work. The last measure of that line, we got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So some spots like that. Let's go ahead and play it. Starts on a D. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 4. Okay, let's do that one again, but a little bit faster. I won't say any of the counts this time. That way we can kind of feel the syncopations and how they affect in this melody. What makes it fun, having those all throughout the melody. Hopefully you can keep up. If not, maybe you can work up to playing this at the faster tempo. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and... Rest. Okay, let's go over and do number 15 on page 73, Minuet in G. This is a great old Bach melody, so it's probably going to be recognizable to you, maybe not. Either way, it's great. This one is going to give us some chances to practice F sharp on the top string and the F sharp on the 4th string. It also has some big skips, so D to G, the skip of a 5th, and then before we do some scale tones. You're going to have E to C, G to the octave below, so sometimes we're even going to be skipping over strings. This is great practice with getting that coordination between the right and the left hands happening. It's awesome. Besides that, though, we're also going to see some C sharp pitches, which are considered accidental. So this is about 3/4 of the way through the song. Those lines, so line 5 and 6, we're going to see C sharp instead of C natural. So our C natural sits on the line, we're going to have the sharp sign next to it, so instead of playing C natural, we're going to play C sharp. As a reminder from the last lesson that we did, when we have an accidental, it carries through the measure unless we see a natural sign returning it to the note that is naturally found in the key. And we are not seeing that ever. So we keep that C sharp through the measure. That's particularly the last measure of the 5th line. And the other ones only happen once in a measure. Okay, let's go ahead and play this one. This one's in 3/4 time, so I'll give us a 3-beat count in and we'll be in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, so that wraps us up for this lesson. I hope you're having fun learning to play these notes. It sure is great to be able to read melodies and read music so that we can play in ensembles and things like that, besides sitting around and reading songs that we want to be able to play or melodies that we want to play. Okay, so in the next lesson, we're going to be doing the key of D, which has a C sharp added to it. So it has F sharp and C sharp. And it's also the key of B minor. So this last one was a little bit of a warm-up with that C sharp, but we'll go over and we'll be doing that lesson next. Keep having fun. I'll see you next time. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.